Hello guys, this is Dark Fox Sage 2 and we are back with our new fanfic, which is What If Naruto Fell in Love with Kurenai Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and please subscribe to the channel. It motivates me to upload more fanfic like these for you all. Now let's start the fanfiction. Naruto Uzumaki, Konoha's #1 knucklehead and the world's most unpredictable ninja, was currently on his way to the hospital. He wasn't injured or anything like that, he just needed to find his sensei, Kakashi Hatake. The reason Naruto is looking for Kakashi is simple. Naruto was competing in the Chunin exams and after 2 parts were finished, he was able to fight in the preliminary round and he defeated Kiba Inuzuka in a rather unorthodox fashion. All of the competitors were given a month off to prepare for the finals and he needed help. His opponent was none other than Neji Hyuga. Neji was a prodigy of the Hyuga clan and was slated as the best rookie genin. He brutally beat his cousin Hinata Hyuga due to his hatred of the main branch family, and Naruto vowed to beat him in the finals. Naruto knew he needed more than what he had for the finals, so who better to ask for training than his very own sensei. He made it to the hospital and figured he'd go to Sasuke's room since that's where Kakashi would be. "Hey, where's Sasuke's room?" Naruto asked the receptionist. "I'm sorry, Mr. Sasuke is not allowed to have visitors," the receptionist said. "What? No visitors? Are you kidding me?" Naruto asked. "Sorry, those are the rules," the receptionist said. "Come on lady, just let me go see him," Naruto said. "Naruto, this is a hospital. Keep it down," Kakashi said, walking up to him. "Kakashi-sensei, I am so glad to see you. I need a favor," Naruto said. "Stop right there. I already know what you're going to ask, so I've been looking for someone that can oversee your training for the final round," Kakashi said, and Naruto was not happy. Why can't you train me, sensei?" Naruto asked. "I have other matters to handle. I don't have the time to trouble myself with you." Kakashi SSID. "You're going to train Sasuke, aren't you?" Naruto asked. "Don't complain. Listen, I found you an even better teacher than me," Kakashi said. "But you're my sensei. I want you to train me," Naruto said, and he was barely containing his anger. "I can't. I'm busy," Kakashi said. "Yeah, busy training Sasuke like always. Who is this so-called teacher anyway?" Naruto asked. "It's me," Ebisu said, and Naruto turned around, then he completely lost it. "Him. This is who you got to train me? You've got to be kidding me. Of all the guys you could have picked, you pick one of the people who hate me in this village. What the hell would you even teach me?" Naruto yelled. "I'll work on your basics and chakra control," Ebisu said. "That's right, Naruto. In Team 7 you're the one who needs to work on your basic skills. They need the most work. That's what I want you to focus on this time around," Kakashi said. "My basic skills need work. They wouldn't need work if you were a better sensei," Naruto said. "Excuse me?" Kakashi asked. "You heard me. I've been under you for 6 months and all you've taught me was tree walking, and that's only because we were fighting Zabuza on our first C-rank mission. Outside of that you haven't taught me anything, and then you pawn me off on this guy who doesn't even like me. You don't suck as a teacher, you also suck as a person. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum. You can't even live by your own words. I know you've been teaching Sasuke and Sakura privately. There's no way Sasuke got that strong without some help, and Sakura was worse than me coming out of the academy. She couldn't even break a simple D-rank genjutsu during our test. Forget it. I'll find somebody to train me myself," Naruto said and stormed out of the hospital. Konoha streets. "Stupid sensei. Pawning me off for training. I don't need him. I'll train myself if I have to," Naruto said. He was so caught up talking to himself that he didn't see the person in front of him until they bumped into each other, making the person fall to the ground. "Ow. Hey, watch it," the person said, and it was female. Huh, oh sorry. Naruto said and helped her up, then noticed who it was. Thank you. Oh, hey, I remember you. You're Naruto, right? The girl asked. Yeah, you're Tenari, right? Naruto asked. It's Tamari. Tamari said. Oh, right. See ya. Naruto said. Wait, I need some food. What's a good spot to eat at? Tamari asked. I'll show you just the place. Naruto said. Ichiraku's. Hey, old man, Ayame. I'm here with a new customer. Naruto said. Ah, Naruto my boy, how's it going? Tsuki asked. It's good. I've got a new customer. Her name's Tamari. Naruto said. What can I get you, Tamari? Ayame asked. I'll have 2 large beef miso ramen. Tamari said. Coming right up. Ayame said. A large? Isn't that a bit much? Naruto asked. What are you saying? Are you calling me fat? Tamari asked. No, it's just that the girls in this village only eat small portions of food to watch their figure. Aren't you worried about losing your figure and getting fat like most girls? Naruto asked. I'm a kunoichi. I can eat as much as I want since I'll just burn the extra calories and weight off as I train. Why are you even checking me out? Focus on yourself and don't worry about me. Tamari said rather harshly, and Naruto's eyes darkened from sadness. Sorry. I was just curious. I'll see you later, old man, Ayame. Naruto said and left the ramen shop. What was that? Tamari asked, surprised by his change in mood and sudden disappearance. You should apologize. Ayame said as she gave Tamari her food. Why? Tamari asked. Naruto wasn't trying to insult you. He doesn't have much experience talking to other people really. He mainly struggles to talk to girls. He was hated by the entire village since the day he was born, so he lacks certain social skills, especially when it comes to girls. Ayame said. I see him talking to everyone all the time since I've been here. Tamari said. He's talking to them, but they aren't really paying attention to him. When he talks and is loud, it's a cry for attention. You didn't notice, but he was calm and spoke quietly in here because he's comfortable talking around us and we already acknowledge him. He's a good kid and means well. He's just rough around the edges. Ayame said. Doesn't he have any friends? Tamari asked. Not that I know of. If he's not here eating or out training, he's up in his apartment by himself. Ayame said. What about his parents? Tamari asked. His parents died the day he was born. He's an orphan. He was kicked out of the orphanage at about 6 years old and has been living on the streets for 2 years before the Hokage found him and gave him an apartment. Ayame said, and Tamari actually started to feel bad. I guess I should go apologize. Tamari said. Give him some time. It's best to leave him alone when he gets like this. You won't find him. He's so good at stealth that if he doesn't want to be found, then not even the Hokage can find him. Ayame said. Hot springs. Alright. I'm feeling better, so now I'll do the water walking exercise. Naruto said. He figured he would work on it at the hot springs because it would give him more inspiration to complete it since he didn't want to get burned. After about 50 tries and falling into the water 50 times, he was finally able to do it, but for some reason he noticed his chakra was even harder to control properly for some reason. He was about to try again when he heard giggling. He looked up and saw a man peeping on the women's side of the hot springs. He walked up to him and tapped him on the shoulder. Go away. I'm creating a masterpiece. The man said. It's illegal to peek on the women in the hot springs. Naruto said. Go away, kid. I'm busy. The man said. Fine. Don't say I didn't warn you. There's a pervert peeking through the fence on the women's bathhouse. Naruto yelled and they heard screaming. Kid, what did you just do? The man asked. Serves you right. Naruto said and walked away, listening to the man getting beat up by a mob of angry women. That wasn't nice, kid. The man said as he appeared in front of him. What the hell? I really need to learn that jutsu. Naruto mumbled. Why'd you do that? The man asked. Because you're a pervert and you deserved it. Who are you anyway? Naruto asked. I'm glad you asked. The man said and summoned a toad, then started to dance. I don't have time for this. Never mind. I need to get back to training for the Chunin exam finals. Naruto said. The Chunin exams? I remember when I took the Chunin exams. Who's your opponent? The man asked. Neji Hyuga, the prodigy of the Hyuga clan. Naruto said. How about I train you? The man asked. What exactly would you train me in? Better yet, what's your name? Naruto asked. I am the one. Theon, the only, gallant Jiraiya, 1/3 of the legendary Sannin. As for what I'll train in, have you ever noticed a second chakra in your body? Jiraiya asked. If you're talking about the Nine Tails chakra, then yes. What else are you going to teach me? Naruto asked. I'll let you sign the Toad contract as well. Jiraiya said. What else? Naruto asked. Geez kid, what do you want to learn? Jiraiya asked. I only planned on training him on using the Nine Tails chakra and giving him the Toad contract. Jiraiya thought. How about some ninjutsu, taijutsu, and if you can help with my fuinjutsu? Naruto said. You know fuinjutsu? Jiraiya asked. Yeah, I'm only level 5, so it's going a bit slow for me. Naruto said. Level 5 at your age? That's great actually. We'll do all of that if you agree to what I want to teach you. Jiraiya said. Okay, but can we hold off on the contract signing until about a day or two before my training is over with? I have a month. Naruto said. Why wouldn't you want to sign it right away? Why wait to sign the contract? Jiraiya asked. Because what if I'm not worthy enough to sign the contract? I mean, I get that it's a huge honor, but from what I've read up on summoning, the boss summons has the right to reject me if I'm not worthy enough. Can't I just build my strength up first before I sign the contract? Naruto asked. He's different from what sensei told me about him. Jiraiya thought. Sure. Meet me here at 4 a.m. We'll train from 4 a.m. until 6 p.m. this entire month. What do you know so far? Jiraiya asked. Shadow clones, substitution jutsu, transformation jutsu, sexy jutsu, and that's it. Naruto said. That's it? That's all you've learned in what, 6 months? Jiraiya asked. I knew all of that besides tree climbing and water walking before I graduated. I learned tree walking during a C rank turned A rank mission, and I just found out about water walking a few hours ago. Naruto said. I see. Who is your sensei? Jiraiya asked. Kakashi Hatake. Naruto said. You should be way above where you're at now. I've noticed you completed the water walking, but you seem to have a problem with your chakra. Jiraiya said. I know. It's been harder to control ever since that stupid snake man hit me in the stomach during the second part of the Chunin exams. Naruto said. Snake man, lift up your shirt and channel chakra for me. Jiraiya said. Why? Naruto asked. Just do it or I won't train you. Jiraiya said. Alright, sheesh. Naruto said and did as told. So this is the formula used to imprison the nine-tailed fox. A double tetragram seal with an 8-sign seal. That way, if any of the demon's chakra escapes the tetragram seal, it will be safely channeled into and suppressed by Naruto's own chakra. The fourth Hokage did this for Naruto's own protection. Since then, a 5-pronged seal had been added. An odd-numbered seal on top of an even-numbered seal. That it explains it. That's why his chakra and the demon's chakra are merging in an unstable way. I'm surprised he was able to master water walking with this seal on him. Jiraiya thought. So, what's wrong with the seal? Naruto asked. That snake man placed an odd number seal over an even numbered seal. Do you know what the 5-pronged seal is? Jiraiya asked. No, I haven't gotten that far into sealing yet. Naruto said. Basically, when the 5-pronged seal is placed on somebody, they have difficulty controlling their chakra. In your case, your chakra became even more unstable due to the 9 tails being inside of you. It caused both of your chakras to merge in an unstable manner. Jiraiya said. Can you remove it? Naruto asked. Of course I can. I am a seal master. Jiraiya said and then slammed his hand onto Naruto's seal. 5-prong seal release. Jiraiya removed the seal from Naruto and he let out a silent yet by the look on his face, a painful scream. Naruto wanted to yell at Jiraiya, but he felt his chakra was a lot easier to use. A little warning would have been nice, but thank you. Naruto said. You're welcome. Now, onto our schedule. We'll be working on your speed, strength and tactics. I'll be having you wear weights to help as well so you can get some good results. Ninjutsu we'll work on after your physical training is done. Fuinjutsu will be the last thing we work on every day. Jiraiya said. Does this mean I'm like your apprentice? Naruto asked. No, you aren't my apprentice officially until you sign the Toad contract. Now, get home. Tomorrow is the start of our training regime. Jiraiya said. You got it, pervy sage. Naruto said. Don't call me that. Jiraiya yelled and Naruto just laughed at him. Great. First Kushina called me that and now Naruto calls me that. Jiraiya thought. It fits perfectly. Naruto said and Jiraiya just sighed. One last thing, you need to get rid of that horrendous outfit. Jiraiya said. It's the only thing I was able to buy. I can't even fit it. It's like 2 sizes too big. Naruto said. Why's that the only thing you could buy? Jiraiya asked. Because the entire village minus a few hate me. I only get these that make me stand out and they're not really comfortable. Naruto said. Why didn't you tell the Hokage? Jiraiya asked. Because I don't trust him. He's a liar. Naruto said. Why don't you trust him? Hasn't he been taking care of you? Jiraiya asked. If you call living on the streets for 2 years before he finally did something taking care of me, then no. That little orphan check I'm supposed to get barely covers my food and rent for that dump of an apartment he gave me. I'm grateful for it, but when Sasuke became an orphan and had to move out of the Uchiha compound, he was given a luxurious apartment. Naruto said. I see. Why'd you call him a liar? Jiraiya asked. Because he is. I asked him if he knew my parents and he lied to my face telling me no. When I asked him again he told me it's pointless to worry about that. I know he's lying because whenever he lies, he takes a long inhale of his pipe and turns away from the person before speaking. Another thing, I asked him for help in the academy since none of the teachers would help me with the clone jutsu and he said he couldn't help me because that would be showing favoritism, but he gave the okay for Sasuke to have private tutors when he asked. Naruto said. Don't you think you can give him some slack? I mean he is the Hokage. Jiraiya said. The same Hokage that passed law saying if anyone was to harm me for being a Jinchuriki that they would be put to death. Yeah, I've been beaten so many times by ninja and civilians that it's impossible to count. I had to find out from a rogue teacher that I had the 9 tails in me after he lied to me every time I was in the hospital clinging to my own life asking him why people hated me. Naruto said and as he was ranting his eyes changed. What the hell kind of dojutsu is that? Minato and Kushina never had one. Jiraiya thought. I'll talk to Hiruzen sensei about all of this. He was supposed to be taking care of you for me. Jiraiya said. For you? Who are you exactly? Naruto asked. I can't tell you that, but I did know your parents. Jiraiya said. Who are they? Naruto asked. Let's make a deal. After the Chunin exams are over with and if you become a Chunin, I'll tell you who I am and who one of your parents were. Deal? Jiraiya asked. Deal. Naruto said. Now, what's up with your eyes? Jiraiya asked. What do you mean? Naruto asked. What do you see right now? Jiraiya asked. I see your chakra flowing and I feel like I can do something else, but I'm not sure what it is. Naruto said. Stop channeling chakra to your eyes. Tomorrow we'll see what else the eye of yours can do. Now, I need to go talk to the Hokage about some stuff. I'll see you tomorrow morning, kid. Jiraiya said and vanished. Damn it. I should have had him show me how to do that first. Naruto said and walked away. Hospital. Hey, Shikamaru. What are you doing here? Naruto asked. I was visiting Choji. What about you? Shikamaru asked. I'm here to see bushy brows. Naruto said. I think I'll join you. Shikamaru said. They walked to Lee's room only to see Gaara trying to kill Lee. Shikamaru used his shadow possession jutsu to hold Gaara, and Naruto hit Gaara with a strong punch to the face that hurt Shikamaru as well. What the hell are you doing in here? Naruto asked. I was going to kill him. Gaara said. What? Naruto asked. You already beat him during the Chunin exams. What's your problem? Wasn't that enough for you? Do you have some kind of personal grudge against him or something? I have nothing against him. It's nothing that complicated. I simply want to kill him, that's all. Gaara said. You're sick in the head. You're crazy. Naruto said. You think we're just gonna stand by and let you do whatever you want? You sick, selfish psycho. Shikamaru said. If you don't stay out of my way, I'll have to kill you too as well. Gaara said, and then Naruto walked up to him, staring him right in the eyes. Then do it. We both know Shikamaru's jutsu isn't affecting you. What's stopping you? Naruto asked. What the hell? Shikamaru asked. Do it, Gaara, or leave. Naruto said. It's 2-on-1. Just take my advice and go quietly. Shikamaru said. I'll give you one last warning. If you get in my way, then I'll kill you. Gaara said. Then I'll tell you again. Do it. Naruto said. Will you shut up? He fights like he's mad. Like he's a demon or something. Shikamaru said. He can act like a demon all he wants to, but I've got the real thing inside of me. Naruto said. You idiot. Leave this to me. What's the point of getting him mad? Shikamaru asked. A demon? Huh, my demon is as real as yours is. From my birth, my upbringing was not what most people would consider a happy one. To ensure that I became the strongest of shinobi, my father cast his ninjutsu on me, infusing my unborn self with a sand spirit. I destroyed the life of a woman who gave birth to me. I was born a monster. Its name is Shukaku, and it's the living incarnation of an old monk of the sand village who'd been sealed up in a jar of tea. Gaara said. Yeah, some kind of demonic jutsu. But to use it on a baby? Before it's even born? Man, that's creepy. Shikamaru said. Can that be true? He has one inside of him too. Naruto thought. Your dad must have loved you a lot. Shikamaru said sarcastically. You speak of love. Don't measure me by your standards. Love. Family. The only emotional ties I have to my family are the ones I'd like to wrap around their necks. They're only ties of hate. Given by the death of my mother. I was brought into being and nurtured as the salvation of the village. I was the Kage's child. My father taught me the inner secrets of the shinobi. He pampered me, protected me, and left me to myself. For a long time I thought that was love. That was when everything started. Gaara said. When what started? Shikamaru asked. In the 6 years since I became 6 years old, my father tried to destroy me more times than I can count. Gaara said. You just finished saying how your father pampered and protected you. So which is it? Shikamaru asked. Those who get to become too strong are apt to become feared. The jutsu that gave me birth had unbalanced something in my mind. Even the fools in my village finally realized I had emotional problems. My father, the Kage, had created me as his ultimate weapon, but I eventually became a threat to the very village I was meant to save. By the time I was 6, I became a figure of terror to them. I was a relic of the past that they wished would disappear. So you see, I had failed at the one purpose for which I was given life. What then was left for me in this existence? Why go on living? For a long time, I couldn't find an answer to that. But in order to live, you need a purpose. To exist for no reason is the same as being dead. Gaara said. I know exactly what he means. He's the same as me. Naruto thought. Then in time to answer came to me. To put it simply, my reason for living is in the killing of others. For years I lived in fear of those who were sent to murder me. But now I am at peace. I killed many would-be assassins, and it was while I was doing it that the truth was made clear to me. I live solely for myself. I live only for myself. As it was the death of my mother that first gave me life, now it is the death of others that sustains me, that makes me almost happy to be alive, and there's no end to it, as long as there are still people to kill in this great, wide, crowded world. I will never disappear. Gaara said, and then his sand came to life around him. Alright. That's enough. Save it for the finals. That's when the final competition begins. You're just wasting it today. Is that what you want? Might Guy asked, and Gaara grabbed his head, forcing his sand to come back into his gourd, then he just walked out. All the same, I will kill you. Just you wait. I'll kill you all. Gaara said. I see. I'll see you guys later. Naruto said. Where are you going? Shikamaru asked. I need to get some sleep. My teacher is meeting me at 4 a.m. to start training for the finals. Naruto said. Isn't Kakashi always late? Shikamaru asked. He's not teaching me. I have somebody else who is the second strongest in the village behind the Hokage. Naruto said. Who would that be? Shikamaru asked. Toads. Naruto said cryptically, and Might Guy widened his eyes. Naruto, is he your teacher? Guy asked. Yeah, Naruto said. Then I look forward to seeing your hot flames of youth in the finals. Guy said, and did his nice guy pose. Konoha streets. I guess I have my work cut out for me in the finals. Naruto said. He was walking through the streets of Konoha again, and this time he felt at peace after he got everything off his chest when he talked to Jiraiya. For the first time in his life he actually felt at peace. He decided to stop by the Shinobi Library to look for a taijutsu style and found 2 styles that should help him. He left the library, and as he was walking he once again bumped into Temari. Huh, oh, it's you again, Naruto said as he helped her off the ground. Yeah, it's me. Don't you ever watch where you're walking? Temari asked. I do, but it's a peaceful night and I've got some stuff off my chest with my teacher for the finals, so I just felt at peace. Naruto said. I see. So, what's with the scrolls? Temari asked. For my training. Naruto said. What kind of training? Temari asked. Brutal training. Can I help you with something? I have to meet my sensei at 4 a.m. and it's already 9 p.m. Naruto said. Listen, I'm sorry about what happened earlier at the ramen shop. I didn't mean to come off so harshly to you. I just thought you were being rude on purpose. The girl that works there, Ayame, told me you don't have much social skills, let alone skills talking to girls. Let's start over. I'm Temari and I like your hair. Temari said, holding out her hand. Oh, I'm Naruto and I like your Naruto said. My what? Temari asked with a blush. I thought girls liked being complimented on their bodies. Naruto said. We do, but that's not something you say to a girl if you're just meeting her. Temari said. Really? Anko didn't tell me that when she gave me the talk. I'll have to remember that. Naruto said. Wait, you just had the talk today? Temari asked. Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. Anko and Yugao explained everything to me. Anko even went into great detail. I think I have a better understanding of things now. I didn't insult you, did I? Naruto asked, and Temari just sighed. No, if you were another person I would have hit you with my fan, but I know you struggle with interacting socially, so I'll let it slide. Next time, compliment a girl on her looks or something. Temari said. Right. Well, see ya, Naruto said and started to walk away. Wait, I'm kind of lost. Can you walk me back to the Golden Leaf Hotel? Temari asked and Naruto froze. I'm not allowed in that part of the village. You'll just have to find somebody else to help you. Naruto said. Why not? Temari asked. Because they hate me. Naruto said. Why? Temari asked. I can't talk about it. I'll see you at the finals, Temari. Naruto said and walked away. Yeah, I'll see you at the finals. Temari said and sighed. If only he knew. Temari thought sadly. Next day. Alright, pervy sage. What's first? Naruto asked. Stop calling me that. Anyway, first thing first. I'm going to place some resistance seals on you. Jiraiya said. What are those? Naruto asked. They're like weight seals, but different. They'll make it harder for you to move and won't stunt your growth even more than it already has been stunted. Jiraiya said and placed resistance seals on Naruto's arms, legs and his chest. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Naruto asked. You're what, 13? You're the size of a 10-year-old. We'll be working on changing your diet and getting you better nutrients. You can't eat ramen every day all day. I know it's not your fault, but I'm going to get you right. Another thing, you are to not release the resistance seals while we are training. You're way behind in training, so I'm going to push you harder than you can imagine. Now, when the library opens, I want you to go and get you some taijutsu scrolls you want to learn. Jiraiya said. Already done. I grabbed 2 yesterday, but I want to mix them together to create a single style. Naruto said and gave Jiraiya the scrolls. That's good. Now, to make these even deadlier, I'm going to work on your speed quite a bit. As for ninjutsu, I want you to channel chakra into this paper. Jiraiya said and pulled out a piece of paper. Why? Naruto asked. It's chakra paper. It'll tell us what element you have to learn elemental ninjutsu. If your element is fire, the paper will burn. Water, the paper will become damp. Earth, the paper will crumble. Wind, the paper will split in half. Lighting will cause the paper to wrinkle. Jiraiya said. Cool. Naruto said, as he channeled chakra into the paper. The results were shocking and Jiraiya had his jaw on the ground. The paper split into 4 pieces. One was ripped to shreds. Another became so damp that it deteriorated. One caught on fire and the last one turned to ice. What the hell? Do it again. Jiraiya said and gave Naruto another piece of chakra paper, then got the same results. Is that bad? Naruto asked. No, it's a shocker. Jiraiya said. Sweet. So, when do we get started? Naruto asked. Right now. The first week we'll be working on your speed and taijutsu. Next week is when we will work on everything combined. Jiraiya said. Huh, so that's where I put my old kunai pouch. Naruto said. What? Jiraiya asked. Nothing. My old kunai pouch was under a floorboard in my apartment, but how do I know that? I'm standing right here. Naruto said. Did you leave a shadow clone at home? Jiraiya asked. Yeah, I had some of them clean the apartment for me. Naruto said. I'll tell you the secret to shadow clones. Whenever one of them dispel, the original gets their memories. Tobirama Senju created that jutsu for spying purposes. Jiraiya said. Sweet. Wait, if I can gain their memories, can't we use them for my training? Naruto asked and Jiraiya just looked him. Why the hell didn't I think of that? Okay. Make 60 shadow clones. I'll send a shadow clone with each group of 20 to get you started on elemental training. While the clones work on your ninjutsu and fuinjutsu, we'll be sparing every day until the final 2 days of training. I want you to sign the Toad contract still. Jiraiya said. What about the 9 tails chakra? I thought we were gonna work on that as well. Naruto said. I've changed my mind. I'm going to boost your skills first and we'll worry about that some other time. Now, I want you to run 50 laps around the walls of Konoha. After that we'll start on your taijutsu. Jiraiya said. You got it, pervy sage. Naruto said and dragged his feet to start running. I hate that name. He's gonna be something special. He may even surpass you Minato quicker than you'd hope if he keeps this up. Jiraiya thought and started looking at the scrolls Naruto had. Muay Thai and Kyusho Jitsu. He seems to be eager to take Neji on using taijutsu. He should know that fighting a Hyuga in taijutsu is suicide since they can seal off your chakra points. That must be why he has Kyusho Jitsu in here. He must want to make Neji feel what others feel when they fight a Hyuga. Neji may block off Naruto's chakra points, but he'll still be able to fight. However, if Naruto strikes certain pressure points on Neji, then he won't be able to use that body part until the effects wear off. Smart plan, Jiraiya said, and then a smaller scroll fell out. 7 heavenly breaths. Jiraiya thought and then read it, making his eyes go wide. I don't even think Naruto knows he grabbed this scroll. The way this is explained, it's almost exactly like the 8 inner gates that Might Guy uses. I heard a kid named Rock Lee can also use the 8 inner gates up to the 5th gate, and he's only been a genin for a year. These are tough, but easier to use than the 8 inner gates. If Naruto fights this Gaara kid I've heard about, then he'll need something like this to give him a bit of help. I won't have him do this, I'll have some of his shadow clones test it out first and then have him do it. Jiraiya said. 28 days later. Alright, Naruto. It's time to sign the Toad contract. Jiraiya said and placed the scroll on the ground. How do I sign it? Naruto asked. Bite your thumb and sign it with blood. After you sign it, make sure you place blood on each of your fingertips and place them under your name. Jiraiya said, and Naruto did that. Now what? Naruto asked. Now, bite your thumb and do these hand signs to summon a toad. Make sure you use some chakra as well. Jiraiya said, and Naruto went through the hand signs. Summoning jutsu. Yo. Name's Gamakichi. Nice to meet you. Gamakichi said, and he was a small orange toad. Not bad for a first summon. Jiraiya thought. Try it again, but this time use as much chakra as you can. We've been working on your chakra control a lot during training, so you should be able to summon the boss toad or a warrior toad. Jiraiya said, and Naruto did it again. Summoning jutsu. Jiraiya. A loud voice boomed. Of course he summons Gamabunta. Jiraiya thought. Yes, Gamabunta. Jiraiya said as he hid behind a rock. Why the hell did you summon me? I don't see a fight going on. Gamabunta said. I didn't summon you. He did. Jiraiya said, pointing to Naruto who was on his head. Nice to meet you, Chief Toad. The name's Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto said. You actually want me to believe this runt summoned me? Gamabunta said. It's true, Pops. I saw the whole thing. Gamakichi said. Gamakichi, what are you doing here? Gamabunta asked. The new guy summoned me before you. I say we let him keep the contract. Gamakichi said. He was able to summon me on his second try. Not even Jiraiya or the 4th Hokage was able to do that. Gamabunta thought. Fine. You may keep the contract, but do not summon me unless you are in a battle and require my help, or if you have barrels of sake. Gamabunta said. Sake. Wait, I think I have some of that stuff. Naruto said and pulled out 6 storage scrolls revealing 50 barrels of sake. I like this kid already. Gamakichi, we're leaving. Gamabunta said. See ya, Naruto. Gamakichi said, and they left with the sake. Now what, pervy sage? Naruto asked, and Jiraiya just stood there pouting. Let's go over everything you've learned this past month. Jiraiya said. Well, we went through about 50% of both taijutsu scrolls, but you said my new speed makes up for the incomplete fighting styles. My ninjutsu is good, but I don't know any ice ninjutsu yet. Fuinjutsu, I'm halfway through level 6 now. Genjutsu we found out is useless against me when I have my dojutsu activated, but without it I can break up to high C rank genjutsu. Oh, and you taught me some of those 7 heavenly breath techniques. List of the ninjutsu you've learned. Jiraiya said. Shunshin, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu, Fire Style, Demon Lantern, Fire Style, Dragon Flame Caterwall, Fire Style, Firefox, water style. Ripping torrent, water style. Water beast, water style. Try water dragon jutsu, water style. Water dragon jutsu, shuriken shadow clone, kunai shadow clone, wind style. Gale palm, wind style. Great breakthrough, wind style. Spiraling wind ball. Where would you rank my overall skill? Naruto asked. I'd put you at about mid to high chunin now overall. Jiraiya said. Where would you put me before we started to train? Naruto asked. Low genin. I'd say that because of your skill in using the shadow clones. You've come a far way in a month. Now, the next 2 days are for you to do whatever you want. Good job. Jiraiya said. Thanks pervy sage. Naruto said. Don't call me that. Jiraiya yelled and Naruto just laughed at him. Hey, pervy sage. How fast am I now? I mean these resistance seals must have helped a lot, right? Naruto asked. Well, I'd say that your speed is faster than that Rock Lee kid after he takes off his weights and without the seals activated on you. You were already low chunin in speed before any progress happened. I'm surprised Kakashi hasn't noticed that. Jiraiya said. That's because he was focused on his most prized student. The one I know for a fact that he wanted the most because of the stupid Sharingan. Naruto said. Kakashi took the easy student. Jiraiya said. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Kakashi took the prodigy of the class because Sasuke is a genius. It's easier to teach Sasuke because you can already tell he has a training background. You on the other hand had no one to train you and knew next to nothing. It would have been difficult for Kakashi to teach you because you don't understand things like Sasuke. To put it simply, Sasuke was the diamond while you were the lump of coal. Which do you think people would prefer? A diamond or a lump of coal? Jiraiya asked. The diamond. Naruto said. Exactly. I'd rather take that lump of coal. I did have a diamond before that needed polishing, but I'd still take a lump of coal. Jiraiya said. Why? It's not worth anything. Naruto said. Not at first it isn't, but if you put that lump of coal under enough pressure and polish it enough, you might just end up with a diamond. Inside every lump of coal there's a diamond waiting to get out. Jiraiya said. So, were you the diamond in your team? Naruto asked. No, I was the lump of coal. I was like you until I met the toads and started to train under them. As you know, Orochimaru was on my team. He was the diamond on my team along with my other teammate. Like you, I also learned through trial and error. Look at me now, I'm one of the legendary Sannin. Jiraiya said. Are you the strongest? Naruto asked. I'd like to say so. As you know, I am a spy master and I do go on missions. I have to make sure my skills are always sharp and on point. I know one of my teammates hasn't trained in decades and Orochimaru has his own evil thing going, so he probably still trains a bit. Jiraiya said. So it's a toss-up between you and Orochimaru for the title of strongest Sannin. Naruto said. I didn't say that. Jiraiya said. Yeah, but you also didn't say either of you were stronger. I mean, if the third member of your team hasn't trained in months, then it's obvious you or Orochimaru would be the strongest. Naruto said. Who do you think is the strongest between you and your teammates? Jiraiya asked. Well, me of course. Naruto said. Why? Sasuke's the prodigy of your team, isn't he? Jiraiya asked. Yeah, but I noticed even the simplest training I did would put Sasuke on edge since I was closing the gap between us quickly. I mean, he had Kakashi helping him privately, but I was able to make him work for it if he wanted to beat me. I mean, look at everything you taught me. Taijutsu, ninjutsu, breaking genjutsu, fuinjutsu, and you even worked on my speed while not neglecting my power. If Sasuke is fighting Gaara, then Kakashi must be working mainly on his speed to get around his sand or give him some kind of attack that can pierce through his sand. Naruto said. His ability to think logically has gotten better over this month. Jiraiya thought. Now, what about your other teammate? Jiraiya asked. What about her? Naruto asked. Why isn't she the strongest? Jiraiya asked. She's the strongest book-wise, but that's it. She barely trains, all she does is follow Sasuke around like a lost puppy. She worries more about her overall appearance than her skills, and when she does train she does the bare minimum, then gets an attitude with me if I ask if she wants to train together. Naruto said. If you make Chunin, then what will you do? Jiraiya asked. Train to become Jonin. After that train to become the Hokage. Change the village up a bit because quite honestly it sucks. Naruto said. How does it suck? Jiraiya asked. First off, the academy is basically pointless if we don't do test scenarios. I mean, after 4 years all you need is the basic 3 jutsus to graduate. That's stupid. Then on top of that, the red light district needs to be fixed, but nobody is doing it. The orphanages are in horrible condition and we only have one ninja school, which is stupid because not everyone lives close to the academy. Naruto said. Why didn't you tell the Hokage? Jiraiya asked. He already knows, but he lets the civilian council walk all over him and he claims he's just an old man that can only do so much. Naruto said. You've got some good points. However, the civilian council does have power, you know. Jiraiya said. Last time I checked this was a ninja village. The orphanage I can understand, but why are they meddling in ninja affairs like the academy and missions we get? We both know the civilian council is corrupt, but the old man is just too lazy and scared to do anything about it. Naruto said. How do you know all of this? Jiraiya asked. You'd be amazed at what I can do if I decided to actually get serious about sneaking around. All of the civilian council has made my life a living hell except for Sakura's mother. I have all this dirt on them and I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to bring it out. I even made it known that there are weak points in the village security. It's almost as if the village is welcoming an attack. I shouldn't be able to sneak into Anbu headquarters, sneak into the Hokage mansion, and I shouldn't be able to access the files room on the civilian council. Naruto said. How the hell weren't you caught? Jiraiya asked. Like I said during training. If I don't want to be found you won't find me. Not even that glass orb the Hokage has can't even find me. Naruto said. Sheesh, this village is lucky he isn't an enemy or they'd all be dead by now. Jiraiya thought. Anyway, good luck in the finals. Jiraiya said. You're not staying? Naruto asked. I've got to meet up with some contacts. I should be back in time to see my apprentice win the finals. Jiraiya said. I'm officially your apprentice? Naruto asked. Yup. As soon as you signed the Toad contract, it became official. As a Sannin I have power to choose whoever I want as my apprentice. If you stay a genin then I'll be able to pull you from a mission if I need you for something. Jiraiya said. Awesome. Hey, pervy sage. Am I a diamond or lump of coal? Naruto asked. I've just started putting you under pressure and polishing you. However, there is a speck of something within you. It's up to you on how you go about that. Your drive and ambition will determine if it's a speck of dust or a diamond that is starting to form. Jiraiya said. I guess this is it. Naruto said, and Jiraiya placed his hand on Naruto's head. Don't worry. You'll do just fine. Jiraiya said. Thanks, pervy sage. Naruto said. Don't forget to wear the new clothes you got. That horrendous jumpsuit is too small for you now. Jiraiya said, and then Jiraiya went up in smoke. 2 days later, Chunin exam finals. The crowd was gathered as all the competitors were in the arena. Well, all except 3. Naruto, Sasuke and Dosu weren't there yet. Sasuke was with Kakashi, so he was more than likely going to be late, but no one has heard from Naruto or Dosu. Look at this. We're missing quite a few people here. Shikamaru thought. Stands. What's going on? Where is everyone? This is about to get started. Ino said. Yeah, what's going on? Sasuke and even Naruto are nowhere to be seen. Sakura thought. Hey, look, who's that? Ino asked, pointing to a competitor. I don't know. Sakura said. Fighting area. Name please. The proctor asked. It's me, Naruto. Naruto said. Sorry, the clothes threw me off. The proctor said. They're pretty sweet, huh? Naruto asked. Yeah, they are. Finally got rid of the orange jumpsuit, huh? Shikamaru asked. I had to. Naruto said. He now wore a white hoodie that had green trimmings down the side, black shinobi pants and black shinobi sandals. Underneath his hoodie was a red shirt with armor mesh underneath it. His hair grew out a bit, and if you looked at him closely, he looked like a certain head on the Hokage monument. Whoa, he sure is cute. Stop that, Tamari. You have more important things to worry about. Tamari thought, but couldn't stop the small blush appearing on her face. You guys are the heroes of this final competition. The proctor said. Welcome all, and our deepest thanks for coming here to the village hidden in the leaves for this year's Chunin selection. We have come to the final completion between the 8 candidates who made it through the preliminaries. We ask that no one leaves until all the matches have been completed. Now, everyone enjoy, Hiruzen said. Oh, there's one more thing before we get started. Look it over. There's been a slight change in the matchups. Now it's set, so everyone take one last look at who you'll be facing. The proctor said and held up a piece of paper. I thought I was supposed to fight an extra match. Hey, so that Dosu guy dropped out. Shikamaru thought. Alright, listen up. The terrain is different, but the rules are the same as before. That is that there are no rules. A match continues until one candidate acknowledges defeat or dies. That being said, if I determine that a match is over, I can step in and stop it at any time. No arguments are permitted. These are the opponents for the first match. Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga. Those two stay. The rest of you can go to the waiting area. The proctor said, and everyone left except Neji and Naruto. Stands. Hey, Sakura. I know that you're worried about Sasuke, but come on. Don't be such a lump. Aren't you going to at least cheer Naruto on? Ino asked. You're right, Sakura said and put a smile on her face. That's more like it. Not that the poor ring has a hope in hell against Neji. Ino said. He's not that bad. Sakura said. Are you kidding? Not that bad. Is that the best you can do? Ino asked. Who would have believed that little squirt would survive this long? Kotetsu asked. Yeah, he's been one lucky kid so far, but his luck's about to run out. He'll never survive this one. Azumo said. I don't know. Look at him. He's grown a lot. He's not the little squirt he was a month ago. He's taller, put on some muscle, and looks more mature. Whoever trained him must have put him through the ringer. I can tell he's far ahead of what he used to be. This match is going to be a lot more interesting than people think. Kotetsu said. Fighting area. You got anything to say to me? Neji asked. Yeah, you might want to take me serious from the start if you hope to have any chance at winning. Naruto said, and everyone noticed his voice was a bit deeper. Then Neji activated his Byakugan. He has the look. He's calmer now, more sure of himself. Neji thought, and then got into his fighting stance, as did Naruto. So much the better for me. I can't wait to see the look of despair on your face when you learn that your foolish vow is impossible to keep. Neji said. The Byakugan, the prized dojutsu of the Hyuga clan. I'm honored. However, I wonder which dojutsu is better. Yours or mine? Naruto asked and activated his dojutsu, shocking everyone. Cage stands. What? Hiruzen yelled. I've never seen a dojutsu like that before. Care to explain, Lord Third? The fake fourth cage asked. I've never seen something like that before either. Hiruzen said and focused on Naruto. I must see more of that dojutsu. I'll have to delay the invasion. Orochimaru thought and discreetly did a hand signal to somebody in the stands, who nodded. Fighting area. Alright, let the first match begin, the proctor said. Neji and Naruto had a brief stare down before Naruto sprang into action. He pulled out some shurikens and threw them at Neji, who started to block them until Naruto used the Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu and Neji had to use his ultimate Hyuga defense to block them. I can't believe he forced me to use the rotation on his very first move. Neji thought. Now that we got that out of the way, how about we get started? Naruto asked. How did you know about my rotation? Neji asked. When I don't want to be seen, you won't see me even with those eyes of yours. Naruto said. It does not matter, you're still fated to lose to me. Neji said. Yup, and you're still fated to be the Hyuga main branch's bitch. Naruto said and rushed in at Neji. You really are an idiot if you intend to take me on in a taijutsu fight. Neji said. Naruto appeared in front of Neji and they began a taijutsu fight. Neji was using his gentle fist and Naruto was using a combination of his two fighting styles. The crowd was cheering loud because of the high-speed action, and the shinobi in the stands were surprised that Naruto was able to go toe-to-toe with a Hyuga prodigy in taijutsu. Every time Neji would strike Naruto, he would get hit twice by Naruto. The speed at which Naruto was fighting threw Neji off a bit, but he was no stranger when it came to speed. What Neji didn't know was that Naruto's dojutsu allowed him to see Neji's chakra network, so he was able to counter some of the blows to his chakra points by adding more chakra to them to keep them from closing. Stands. I can't believe it. Kurenai said. I know. To think this used to be the dead last. Whoever trained him during this month must have been quite the shinobi. Asuma said. Didn't Kakashi teach him? Kurenai asked. No. From what I heard, Naruto asked Kakashi for help, but he refused as he wanted to train Sasuke for his match with Gaara. Kakashi chose Ebisu to train Naruto and he flipped out on Kakashi, then stormed out of the hospital. Nobody hasn't seen or heard from him for an entire month. However, rumor has it that he spent some time with the kunoichi from Suna. Asuma said. Then it makes me wonder what he would be like if he was trained properly throughout the academy. Kurenai said. Same here. I feel bad for Kakashi. Naruto will without a doubt make Chunin, and if he does, Kakashi won't have anything to do with it. Asuma said. Is that Naruto? There's no way he should be able to fight with Neji like that. 10-10 thought. Hey, Sakura. Ino said. Huh, what is it? Sakura asked. I thought Naruto was supposed to be the dead last. Who trained him? Ino asked. I don't know. I haven't seen him for the entire month. He hasn't even been to Ichiraku's. Sakura said. He's obviously been training and eating better. He's grown a couple inches and is probably as tall as Neji now. That, and look at the muscle he put on. I wonder if I should snatch him up before somebody else does. Ino said, and Hinata gasped. Ino, do you even hear yourself? Sakura asked. I'm just kidding. Sasuke is the guy for me. Naruto belongs to Hinata. Ino said, making Hinata blush. Fighting area. I can't believe he's able to match me in taijutsu. However, his arms are done for. Neji thought as they separated and both were covered in bruises. You may have gotten stronger, but you're still no match for me. The gentle fist blocks the chakra points wherever I strike. Looks like you can't use the chakra in your arms for Yuninjutsu. Neji said. See, that's where you're wrong. I can easily reopen my chakra points. You on the other hand may want to examine your body a bit closer. Naruto said. A couple of bruises mean nothing. Neji said. Even with the infamous Byakugan you still can't see clearly. Naruto said. What is that supposed to mean? Neji asked. The bruises on your body are in specific points on your body. They aren't just random spots I hit. While you were able to close off my chakra points, I was able to strike your pressure points. Your arms don't really work that great right now. You may have hit me half of the times you actually thought you did. Your attacks became slower and weaker as we fought. While I can reopen my chakra points, you have to get a medic or somebody that knows the body to help you out. Naruto said. What? That's impossible. How could I fall for something so simple? Neji thought as he tried to move his arms, but they wouldn't move. Surrender now, or stand there helplessly as this dead last embarrasses you even more. I haven't even begun to fight seriously. You came into this fight filled with arrogance, expecting an easy win. I came here with a plan and a counter to your taijutsu. I trained every day from before the sun rose to when the sun went down this past month. What will it be? Will you forfeit or will I have to embarrass the Hyuga clan even more? Naruto asked and walked up to him putting a kunai to Neji. I forfeit. Neji said reluctantly. Winner. Naruto Uzumaki. Genma said and the crowd was stunned. Neji, why do you hate Hinata? She's a nice girl and wouldn't hurt a fly. Naruto said. Because of the caged bird seal. Neji said and it all made sense. Neji, all seals can be broken. I'll let you in on a secret I've learned. Hiyashi Hyuga was against your father being given up during the whole Kumo incident. Talk to him and he'll explain things. The clan head isn't the problem in your clan, it's the council. Hiyashi has the power to abolish the caged bird seal. I'm sure Hinata would like her cousin back in her life. Naruto said and tapped Neji on his pressure points. What did you do? Neji asked as he was able to move his arms again. I undid the damage to your pressure points. Naruto said. How did you change so quickly in a month? Neji asked. I'm a lump of coal being put under pressure. Naruto said and walked away leaving Neji confused. Stands. Whoa. He just took down Neji without a problem. Ten said. It's like he's a completely different person. Sakura said as she watched Naruto go up to the fighter's area. Did we miss Neji's match? Rock Lee asked as he arrived with Might Guy. Yeah, it's over. Ten said. Then Neji must be really strong if he was able to take out Naruto so quickly. Although it looks like Naruto gave him some problems. Might Guy said. No, Neji lost. Ten said. What? Lee said. It's true. Naruto outclassed him and came in with a plan to counter Neji and his gentle fist. He blocked off the pressure points in Neji's arms. Neji had to forfeit due to his arms being useless. Ten said. It doesn't make sense. Naruto shouldn't be this good after a month. Ino said. Given who trained him, this isn't much of a surprise. Might Guy said. Who trained him? Sakura asked. It's not my place to tell. However, just know that if Naruto defeated Neji as easy as you said, then we haven't even seen what he can really do. Guy said. Fighter's area. Geez, Naruto. Did you have to win so quickly? Shikamaru asked and Naruto ignored him as he walked up to Gaara. Win your match, but don't kill him. I want to fight you myself. Naruto said and had a stare down with Gaara, but you could feel the tension between them. Mother says your blood is better than the Uchiha. Gaara said with a crazed look on his face. Then don't lose to Sasuke and you can have it. Naruto said and then Gaara released a huge amount of chakra, but his was no match for Naruto's chakra output. What the hell are they? Shikamaru thought. He's got more chakra than Gaara. Tamari thought. Can you two stop? You're cracking the walls around us. Shikamaru said. Wimp. Tamari said. I'll see you in the final match. Naruto said and walked away to take a nap. Time skip. Hours passed by since Naruto went to sleep and he was woken up by a screeching noise. He yawned and stretched, then noticed Sasuke standing on the wall with lighting covering his hand. Sasuke took off at incredible speeds towards Gaara, who was trapped in a sphere of sand. Right before Sasuke could stab Gaara, his feet were stopped by sand. Sasuke was surprised along with Kakashi, and then a giant hand made of sand came from the sphere and repeatedly slammed Sasuke into the wall before he fell unconscious. Winner. Gaara of the Sand. Genma said. Naruto Uzumaki. Come face me. Mother wants your blood. Gaara yelled and the sand sphere went away as Gaara was back to normal. Stands. Okay. Naruto said and stood up, but he was grabbed. I'm calling off the match. You can't win. Kakashi said. Oh. Why is that? Naruto asked. Because if Sasuke wasn't able to beat him, I know you can't. Kakashi said. See, that's where you're wrong. I'm stronger than Sasuke and I have quite a bit of tricks up my sleeve. Naruto said. Sorry, but this is for your own good. Genma. Naruto Uzumaki forfeits this match. Kakashi said. No the hell I don't. Naruto said and went up in smoke revealing a log in his place. Relax, Kakashi. Naruto's got this. Asuma said. Did you see what Gaara did to Sasuke? There is no way Naruto stands a chance. Kakashi said. Actually, he does. Might Guy said. How so? Kakashi asked. Simple. He was trained by somebody way out of our league. He defeated Neji like it was nothing. Might Guy said and turned his attention to the fight. Have some faith in your genin, Kakashi. Kurenai said. Fighting area. Gaara vs Naruto. Begin.